Napa know-how.
There are lots of amazing cars on the road, but perhaps none more amazing than the paid-off car. It may not be pretty, but the price is right. Heck, if you keep that thing running, it'll actually start paying you. Because with Napa Rewards, for every $100 you spend, you'll get $5 off. So keep your car running longer, stronger with Napa Rewards and watch the savings start rolling in. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
I'm Keith Peters. President Trump is urging 3 suspended UCLA basketball players to thank his Chinese counterpart for their freedom after a shoplifting incident in Shanghai.
The president yesterday wondered if the players would thank him for helping push for their release. Cody Riley and the others did.
I would also like to thank President Trump and the United States government for the help that they provided as well.
The president says they should now do the same to Chinese leader Xi Jinping, whom he says made their release possible. The players were accused of shoplifting last week while UCLA was in China for a game and are now indefinitely suspended. Sagar Meghani at the White House.
A bipartisan group of senators has reached agreement on legislation to ensure federal agencies and state governments accurately report relevant criminal history to the FBI's database of prohibited gun buyers. Congress has taken no steps on guns in the weeks after deadly shootings in Las Vegas and Texas. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Fire your fly swatter. Get your Bug Assault today.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
If you don't want to hear real facts on social and political issues, then stop listening now. Otherwise, stay right here for real issues, real facts with real people.
Accelerate your culturalization of America.
But when the Dems use the argument that we're all immigrants, I want to turn into the Tasmanian devil with 2 clubs in Miami, clear the road. There were immigrants that came here because they wanted to be here. They wanted to learn they wanted the American dream. You cannot get the American dream speaking Spanish.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
I'm going to deal with topics and issues that will make you think, make you mad, and maybe even get you a little embarrassed. So don't go anywhere. The lines are open. You can reach me at 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563.
You're always so stupid. Did you take lessons?
You're despicable.
Welcome back to another session of Sanity right here on the Real Side. Always a pleasure to have you with me. I really do appreciate the time you guys spend with me on the air and in the chat room and texting and tweeting and being part of the conversation. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. You know, we're watching all this stuff happen with Al Franken. Are you surprised? Is anybody really surprised? Come on. Because I would like to believe that there's nobody listening to this show that is that brain dead. Okay? And I do. I get the biggest charge out of it. You're going to see more and more of this come up. But look at the types that it's happening to. You know, again, I'm not trying to insult anybody. There were preachers from years gone by. Some of you will know who I'm talking about. That were banging on the pulpits and screaming about, prostitution and how bad, adultery was and all this other stuff. And that person was caught twice. Not once, twice. In a hotel room with hookers. And the first time, he gets up in front of the church. Now, look, I realize we have our weak moments. We've all had our moments. I get that. That's not what I'm pounding on. I'm pounding on the hypocrisy that makes us look that bad. So the first time he gets up in front of the church, says, I've sinned a great sin. I've done this. I've done that. And bottom line was he asked for forgiveness, and he goes about the daily business again. And then in a relatively short period of time, guess what happens? He's caught again in a hotel room with hookers. Apparently he's got a problem. I mean, if you're the wife, you're really feeling bad, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be vulgar or anything, but seriously? I'm not saying it's her fault. Don't go twisting that all up. I'm just, you got to feel bad. What's wrong with me? So anyhow, and I brought up, that's why we don't follow these men. Right? You need to make sure that what they're preaching, what they're teaching, Jimmy Jones was a preacher. Let's remember that. Some of you are probably too young to remember Jim Jones. Go look him up. Go look at what he did. The minute he threw that Bible behind the pulpit and said, "I'm here," the door should have swung open and people should have been running out. And I mean running out. You check everything they say. Just because they say they're a man of God, just because they're up there speaking, doesn't mean they are. Doesn't mean they're preaching the real word. You check everything. Now, I'm not saying that most of them are up there for the wrong reasons. They're not. I believe that most pastors, like most politicians, start off for all the right reasons. They get tainted. They see the money. They see the power. Or they get very, they get very discouraged because they can't get stuff done. And they find out the way you get stuff done is you do take the money. You do get in line. You do what you're asked to do. And then all of a sudden, doors open up for you. So you have to make a decision. Do I want the doors opening up, or am I willing to call things out as they are and try to make stuff happen? I prefer to make as much noise as humanly possible, get in trouble, but try to make stuff happen. It's just, as some of you can imagine, it's just in my nature. Do you know what I'm saying? So I started talking a little bit how the millennials, they are the voting bloc.
How about you guys? What brought you out tonight?
Brought me out because I think that Prince Shapiro's transphobic and racist rhetoric is harmful to our campus.
What does he say that's racist?
Well, exactly what Brim was just telling you about, that racism is not an institution. It is just, Sorry.
It is an institution?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm saying. I don't know what I mean, and I lost my notes. So this started too fast. I didn't mean to start it like that, but what the heck, I let it go. These were millennials that were at a Ben Shapiro event. And, the millennials are growing, and they are the largest voting bloc in the country right now. So this young lady happened to be at the Ben Shapiro event and decided that she was going to let us know why Ben Shapiro was a racist. She can't tell you why. You know why she can't tell you why? Because it isn't from the heart. She can't tell you why because she can't remember the talking points. That's why she can't tell you why. Let me play it from the beginning again, all right? Because you deserve to hear this whole thing. It's a very simple question. You think he's a racist. Why is he a racist? Which is the same thing that happens with President Trump and others. It's a word that they've made of no effect, and it's too bad. Anytime you're ready.
How about you guys? What brought you out tonight?
Brought me out because I think that Prince Shapiro's transphobic and racist rhetoric is harmful to our campus.
What does he say that's racist?
Well, exactly what Brim was just telling you about, that racism is not an institution. It is just, Sorry.
It is an institution?
Sorry.
I'm Ben Shapiro.
So she couldn't say anything. She didn't lose her train of thought. There was no thought there. She lost her notes. That's the only thing I can think of. Because she opens up and says, what my friend said about race. So she has no thought. She was going by what her friend said. And this is what scares me. They get in line. They get in line with the last 140 characters they saw. They get in line with what's been put out over that interweb thing, on social media and what have you, and they fall in line with that stuff. Look, if you've got kids or grandkids, some close to you, please open your mouth. I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. Please open your mouth. Let those kids know the realities of these things. Let them know really what's going on. Give them the other side of the story. Look, you may think that the kids think that you're your grandma or grandpa or auntie or uncle and you are, you're just outdated. You really don't count anymore. It's not true. You have some influence. You may not know it, but you have some influence with these kids. Don't give up on them. I'm not joking. Don't give up on them. Anyway, David Fisher is going to join us. Now, I know some of you don't like all that finance talk. You get over yourselves, all right? Because I don't care how little money or how much money you have. David will try to help you figure out what to do with that money. And even though he's a precious metals specialist, if you listen to him, he's not talking about precious metals all the time. Stocks, bonds, precious metals, real estate, tin cans in your backyard. I mean, a whole bunch of ways to keep your money safe. I'm Joe Messina, your host. Listen to The Real Side on GCN Live. Hey, don't go far. Heat up the coffee. Come on back. Don't make me come to your house. We'll be right back. Become a member at Liberty Health Share. Members are exempt from tax penalty and mandates slapped on individuals who don't have health care insurance, giving you real freedom from traditional insurance. I'm Joe Messina, host of The Real Side Radio Show. Liberty Health Share gives their members real control by giving them the freedom to choose any doctor or hospital anywhere in the nation, for real. Memberships are available for individuals, couples, and families that can offer a variety of options for your medical needs, and they're based on commonly held principles and values. Call my friends at Liberty Health Share for more information and enroll any time of the year. You can reach them at 855-585-4237 or visit libertyhealthshare.org and see how Liberty Health Share can make a difference in your health care needs. 855-585-4237 or visit libertyhealthshare.org. 855-585-4237. Tell them Joe sent you. They won't care, but it sounds good.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's MyPillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
ID Stronghold wallets are different. They may look the same on the outside. They're stylish. They'll hold your cards and cash. But they're hiding something great on the inside. No, there are no pyrotechnics. And it doesn't sing when you open it. But it does have magical powers. ID Stronghold wallets protect your critical information and identity from thieves standing right next to you. Protect your family this holiday season with affordable leather ID Stronghold wallets and purses. Anyone can buy a cheap RFID scanner online and snag your information just by walking past you. Contactless credit cards, debit cards, even your work ID badge. ID Stronghold was the first to pioneer RFID blocking technology over 12 years ago. Secure your identity and save 10% by using coupon code PRESENT for a limited time at idstronghold.com. That's coupon code PRESENT. Also available at walmart.com, eBay, Amazon, or QVC. idstronghold.com.
You've been hearing Dr. Wallach talking about 90 essential nutrients, keeping the body healthy. GCNteam.com now has Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets, 60 plant-derived minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, packed in a powerful tablet. But that's not it. 160,000 auric points, a knockout punch to free radicals. Call 877-878-4203 or go to GCNteam.com. That's 877-878-4203.
Have you ever lost your power and wanted to simply flip a switch to get the lights back on? If so, pay close attention because huge discounts are now available in solar generators. Perfect for backup power outages and emergencies. Portable solar generators provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. And, unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no dangerous fumes, and produces an endless supply of electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running secretly in your own home. Right now, get a $5,000 solar generator for just $995 while supplies last. Go to mysolarbackup.com to learn more. That's mysolarbackup.com. GCN listeners use coupon code GCN at checkout for this special offer. MySolarBackup.com. Use coupon code GCN. EMP protection available at an additional charge.
Actual testimonials from real Numana customers.
I've tried all kinds of food storage, and Numana is by far the best.
I'm a single mom with 2 teenage boys and a full-time job. I don't always have time to cook a 4-course meal. That's where Numana has been such a blessing. I can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters most, like helping with homework.
Find out for yourself. Order online at thepowermall.com. That's thepowermall.com. Numana is...
Food stores I love to eat. Yum!
Thepowermall.com.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Hey, man. I don't feel like going to school no more. Me neither. You can't make me go.
We are back. And no, I don't feel like going to school anymore. I'm about as much of an educated idiot as you can get, seriously. And I'm good with that. Doesn't bother me at all. I'm Joe Messina, your host. Listen to The Real Side on GCN Live. Always a pleasure to have you with me. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. Whether you believe it or not, I really do appreciate the time that you're spending with us on the air and texting and tweeting and being part of the conversation, and do be part of the conversation. You know, somebody wrote me a couple of weeks ago, said, Joe, you know, you guys, when you're talking about finances, you sound like, you know, you're fear-mongering. First of all, I hate the word, I hate that phrase, fear-mongering, because right away you go to the negative. And so now, telling you to be careful, telling you, that don't go through certain parts of town because it's really dangerous, crime rates are high, that's fear-mongering. Well, no, it's not fear-mongering to tell you that the way you watch your finances, that things are coming up, that things have happened in the past. Wouldn't people have liked maybe a little more fear-mongering back in, in 2008? When the crap hit the fan big time? I'm sure they would have minded a little bit more fear-mongering back then, right? So nobody's saying you're going to lose it all. Life is over. You're a dead man, whatever financially. No, what David's trying to say, what I'm trying to tell you is look at what's going on universally, globally, and make your moves accordingly. If you don't believe David, there are other people you can listen to. But if nothing else, what you should walk away with is, this financial thing, there are issues coming up. How do I fix it? And we're going to tell you. Okay, like we get every week, and we get the updates every week. And, I bring people on. We have this discussion on a regular basis. I bring people on so you guys have a clue as to what to do with that 7 cents in your wallet. You're storing up a little bit of a nest egg. I talk to you guys when I go out to lunch with you. A lot of my friends who don't know what to do with their money. They don't know what to invest in or why. They're scared to invest. They're scared to buy gold. They're scared to buy real. They're just scared people. So David's going to help us figure all of that out. David Fisher is the CEO of Landmark Capital. Always have fun with him when he's on. I really do. When it comes to numbers and facts and figures, I have fun with you, David. And I want to thank you for being here.
Well, that's very much likewise. I enjoy educating your listeners as well as many other listeners across national radio, and it's my pleasure to be here today once again with you.
I'll tell you little things that I learned from you. I've had people send me emails and say, "Oh my God, the market's tanking and this is going." I go, guys, relax. 1 day, 2 days, I've learned from David Fisher. Not the end of the world. If this goes on for 15 days, we may have a problem. But 2 days, not again. You can't judge the whole thing by 2 days. Last week, the market was going nuts, selling off towards the end of the week. What happened?
Well, it's also still selling off today. The Dow's off 3 digits. So, it's been off 5 days in a row. I'm still not alarmed, but I'm concerned now. So, last week when we were talking on your show, I said, we're going to have a correction here coming up. Could this be that? I don't know. It hasn't moved enough to say we're in that correction. But a couple things are causing this. Number one is General Electric is having all kinds of problems. Their stock, which they're one of the biggest components in the Dow. And they're actually talking about, since it's dropped so much, over 50% this year. Imagine your stock dropping over 50% in 1 year. And that's not a financial crisis. That's just a internal GE crisis going on.
Wow.
So, this is not a broad-based market drop. This is just a stock that's a main component in the Dow, which is why they're wanting to throw it out of the Dow, one of the 30 components in the Dow that is an indicator. that is pulling the Dow down. So that's not the only thing that's pulling it down. But back to GE, their chairman and chief executive John Flannery, he's made a decision to slashing dividend shares, paying out instead of 24 cents a share, 12 cents. So this is a huge black eye. Let me say it again. This is a huge black eye if you own GE, you're getting half the dividend that you'd normally get. But the stock is now down to 2012 levels. It's dropping like a lead balloon pretty much every day. They're trying to free up around $6 to $7 billion in cash by cutting dividends to get the company back on track. Flannery is saying we're going to do that, but in the meantime, they're bleeding. So that's one drag on the market. The other drag is the bigger of the two, which is let's wait to see what happens with this tax bill by President Trump. Yeah. They keep kicking the can down the road as far as when they're going to come to a final Senate. But the Senate has said we're going to come to a vote on Thursday. So that's usually means we have enough votes to pass this thing. But it's not what we all thought it would be. There's a lot of challenges with it. The bottom line is there's a $1.5 trillion tax cut happening over the next 10 years. And putting the money in pockets of Americans. We talked about this before, average $4,000 per household, what we would receive. But when you dissect the bill, at least the one that went to the Senate, now it's going to get changed again. So it's kind of up in the air, but they're kind of looking at a whole bunch of different things. Check this out. They want to take away what you call the SALT, which is the state and local tax deduction. That's what SALT stands for. Out of a lot of blue states, specifically New York. So in other words, think about this. You own a home in New York, and you can't write off as much of the tax deduction through interest payment that you pay on your home. They're lowering it from $1 million to $500,000. Yet the corporate side, the commercial real estate property, what you call averaging out in I'm blanking out. What do you call that? Or something deep. Oh, yeah. When you look at the corporate side, when you own property, you can depreciate that over time, and you could depreciate your property on a commercial level over 50 years. Now they're shortening it to 28 years, which means you can deduct more. So, there's this, and I'm gonna, I say it how it is, Joe.
I know.
The rich becoming richer, and that's one of the components that people were upset with Trump at. He owns real estate in New York, and he's giving himself a better tax break on his real estate in having a larger deduction, while this lower person who doesn't have billions of dollars can't take a tax deduction on their state taxes, and specifically they're taking away the home deduction from $1 million down to $500,000, which might sound like a lot to you and I, but in New York, real estate prices are out of this world. So it's making the rich richer. It's clearly doing that, and this is one of the things that the Senate is fighting for. So we're going to see what's going to come out. They're also looking at 401ks and taking away some catch-up years in contributions. It's not necessarily exactly what we all signed up for, but I'll know more here after Thursday, and we'll talk about it next week.
What's really funny is the Senate seems to be in a different world, if you would, than the Congress is, and we're going to hit more of that on the other side of the break. I'm Joe Bassini, your host. This is The Real Side on GCN Live. David Fisher's with us. Don't go far. At Liberty Health Share. Members are exempt from tax penalty and mandates slapped on individuals who don't have health care insurance, giving you real freedom from traditional insurance. I'm Joe Messina, host of the Real Side Radio Show. Liberty Health Share gives their members real control by giving them the freedom to choose any doctor or hospital anywhere in the nation. For real. Memberships are available for individuals, couples, and families that can offer a variety of options for your medical needs, and they're based on commonly held principles and values. Call my friends at Liberty Health Share for more information and enroll any time of the year. You can reach them at 855-585-4237 or visit libertyhealthshare.org and see how Liberty Health Share can make a difference in your health care needs. 855-585-4237 or visit libertyhealthshare.org. 855-585-4237. Tell them Joe sent you. They won't care, but it sounds good.
Have you ever lost your power and wanted to simply flip a switch to get the lights back on? If so, pay close attention because huge discounts are now available in solar generators. Perfect for backup power outages and emergencies. Portable solar generators provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. And, unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no dangerous fumes, and produces an endless supply of electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running secretly in your own home. Right now, get a $5,000 solar generator for just $995 while supplies last. Go to mysolarbackup.com to learn more. That's mysolarbackup.com. GCN listeners use coupon code GCN at checkout for this special offer. MySolarBackup.com. Use coupon code GCN. EMP protection available at an additional charge.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years from My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Okay. I'll give you one more time around the rink. Then get back in the chair, and let's pay attention. Okay, don't spend all your money on that girl at the roller skating rink. I'm telling you, she's not worth it. You're not going to marry her. Get away from it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm Joe Basini, your host. Don't you remember that in the old days? They have cotton candy, popcorn. You know, it was really crazy because you go to the roller skating rink, right? Where they have cotton candy, Coke, Pepsi, all that stuff, and you're like buzzing on the. Never mind. I'm trying to go all the way back to the 70s. I've been trying to forget it for years. Let's get to something real. Seriously. Like how to handle your money. All right, so I've had a chance to recoup from the last segment. David Fisher's with me, CEO of Landmark Capital, and I've had my drink, David, but my drink is, coffee with an extra shot of espresso in there to help me, get going again and get my mind straight. It's just some people just don't understand how quickly things said by the Senate or the Congress or what have you make a change on this. And finances, when it comes to economics and finances or what have you, I find that there's several different viewpoints on what will work and won't work. And anyway, let's go into the bond market, because people, again, when you explained it last week, I got to tell you, a lot of positive comments came back and said, look, I really didn't know what bonds were. Thanks for making that plain, clear, and easy for me to understand. But what about this news about the government bailing out pensions? I don't know if you heard, on a side note, did you hear that California was going to borrow pension money to pay pension money?
Hey, that's what this is about.
Go for it.
The government's now operating like Bernie Madoff. That's moving into a Ponzi scheme. And, I hate to say it, but when you analyze it just as the concept of it, that's what this is. And I'm not even talking about the Fed creating money out of thin air. I'm not talking about the Treasury issuing treasuries out of thin air. I'm talking about the bailout process of what now is being presented to not just to California, but our national government is creating a plan to possibly bail out pensions. This revolves around bonds. Bonds is the biggest assets in pensions, and when 2008 happened, bonds got clobbered much more worse than stocks. Now that interest rates are moving up, and we talked about this before, but just a quick overview, the bond market is much larger than the stock market. The global bond market is tripled in the last 15 years and now exceeds $100 trillion. Wow. By contrast, the S&P and the Dow Jones is $64 trillion. So bonds are much bigger than stocks. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, as the saying is. And so I was talking about last year, 4 major bond markets have trended down: the Chinese, the Eurozone, the Japanese, and the U.S. The 10-year notes for those bonds have downturned, which means, again, higher bond yields creates bond prices that move lower. Bond prices that move lower creates a bond bubble that is in serious trouble. Just today, Bill Gross was on CNBC saying that Bill Gross, he's the bond king. He's the one that created PIMCO, the largest bond trading in the world. He was on CNBC today, Joe, talking about we're creating the largest bubble in the history of the bond market, and we're moving towards a pop. And so what's happening is we're moving towards an inflationary environment. In 2008, we believe it's coming because, I'm talking about the fundamentals. I'm also talking about the technicals. The technical number, the producer price index, which measures prices that companies of wholesalers are charging for goods and services. It's spiking. It's broken out. It's gone up past the 2008 downtrend. Simply put, the chart shows us that in no uncertain terms, the world is heading towards an inflationary environment. In fact, this is not just the United States. This is the world, because the PPI also, like the bonds, showed this. Now the PPI is showing this in China, the Eurozone, Japan, and the U.S. And last week, the yields broke out on the 10-year notes. So all the technicals are telling us that get ready, 2018, we are going to have inflationary environment. How this is showing up, according to J.P. Morgan, that the bond traders are now placing the biggest short in treasuries in over a decade. I'm getting the news from Bloomberg News today. Wow. So this is not, conspiracy. This is mainstream media. And J.P. Morgan Chase did a survey that 40 treasuries, entities that are holding 44% of their holdings are in treasuries are now in a short position, which means they're betting that the treasuries are going to go down, is all that means. This is the most since 2006, so they saw it coming in 2008. They bet then. Now they're betting now more today than the previous downturn of 2008. And this is at a record high of 70% of holdings of treasuries are in now short positions. So the bond traders are betting we're going to have something severe happen in next year. So buckle your seatbelts. How this affects now, I know this is not good news, but it's very clear data. It's screaming at us. This could trigger a stock market correction. This could trigger, it's not a real estate problem. I don't see that, but we're going to have problems in pensions, and that's where the government now is creating legislation. Last week they introduced legislation on struggling multi-employer pensions because pensions hold bonds. They would allow these pensions to borrow from the U.S. Treasury to remain solvent. They're actually creating a new office in the Treasury Department, Joe. It's called the Pension Rehabilitation Administration. Now, I don't know how much time we have left to explain this in this segment, but we might have to go over. But I'll just keep going on until
you got about 3 minutes, so
okay,
go for it.
Well, all right. So the pension funds could borrow could buy from the U.S. Treasury a Treasury note and borrow at low interest rates for 30 years. Sounds great in theory because a 30-year is paying out 2.4%, but the returns that they need to break even in the pensions are 6%. So here's what they're allowing this to do is they're allowing these pensions to leverage their money through speculation. Call it derivatives, call it an option. You know where I'm going with this. Brought down the market in 2008. The derivatives did. They're now allowing that to happen through this new program. If this bill passes, that is. I don't know if it's going to pass or not, but we're going to watch for it. But the problem is, and I'm going to tell you after the break how severe this is, because there's another entity within the government that's already created that we need to bail out from this bill that gets passed.
David, I saw an email the other day came by my desk. Somebody sent me. There was a bank that was actually the heading was "Don't have the down payment for your home," and they would loan you the other 20% to get into your house. And I'm thinking to myself, didn't we have this once before? Are we really back there again?
Yeah, we haven't learned, obviously, from history, and it's sad. God. It's all about, what banks can make money on. If they're going to willing to do that, I guess we're going back there again.
Wow. Always just amazing to me with this stuff. And I don't think people realize, I know that being on the school board myself, and you see I don't want to say funny money, because it's not funny money, but it's what we have to do, the games that we have to play to make ends meet for us when we're waiting for the state to pay us. When you see the kind of trouble, we see it. What's really funny is we see the shortcomings of the pensions out 10, 12, 15 years and the kind of trouble it's going to cost us. The state doesn't seem to either A, want to acknowledge it, or B, to believe it. They're still using, you taught me this, they're still using that 7% actuary rate that doesn't exist anywhere in the world, right?
No, it's only a blip in the market right now that we can get in this environment. And now the environment and stocks are not producing it. The market's going south, so it's going to be dependent upon, how this year finishes out on how much the markets are up. We'll tell the story and how pensions will survive. But we're in a low interest rate environment, and this is bad for pensions.
Unless, of course, you're in Venezuela. That's a whole different animal. We'll talk about it. Bernie's going to head down there to take advantage of God knows what. You know what I'm saying? Because he loves Venezuela and socialism so much. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go far. David Fisher's with me, and I'm feeling better now. I really am, because at least I know what to avoid. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. But I got to tell you something before we go to break. Some of you will send me emails or send me messages during the show or after the show about some of the things that David and I discuss. I just want to drive a point home, and David wants to make sure that I drive this point home too. This is not fear-mongering, okay? This is not getting you nervous and crazy so you'll run out and buy from him. You notice that for 2 segments solid, we haven't even told you who he works for or what company he's with. I mean, I tell you at the beginning, but I don't tell you how to get a hold of him. This isn't a hard sell scenario. This is for you to look at the situation, decide what's right for you, what direction you want to go in. You can call him and just get information from him. I'll give you more of that at the other side of the break. I'm Joe Bassini, your host. Don't go far. We'll be right back.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business. So make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
This just in. Before your doctor gives you another antibiotic prescription that you don't want, get this free report, The Miracle of Garlic, your first home medicine. This free report is filled with easy kitchen remedies for common colds, flus, sore throats, ear infections, and more. Plus, learn to boost your immunity before you get sick. Go now to GCNwellness.com. Just like it sounds, GCNwellness.com to get your free report, The Miracle of Garlic. Click GCNwellness.com.
If some high-pressure salesperson twisted your arm into buying a timeshare, it's not your fault. Whether you bought decades ago or days ago, I bet that salesperson didn't mention your timeshare could cost you twice as much as a regular vacation, or that you'd never be able to use it when you wanted, or that your fees could shoot up every year. They misled you, and that's not fair. That's why we're here, to get your timeshare company to free you from your unwanted timeshare. Get the free information you need at 1-800-783-2959. We're the Timeshare Exit Attorneys, America's #1 timeshare exit service run by real attorneys, not sales companies or middlemen. It was a salesperson who got you into this mess. Don't rely on a salesperson to get you out. We've got a 100% service guarantee, and our team has already helped thousands of people get out of unwanted timeshares. For free information, call 1-800-783-2959. That's 1-800-783-2959, 1-800-783-2959.
Heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Kiyosaki, Rogers, and Schiff all concur there's an economic calamity that will be facing this country. My question to you is, do you know when, and are you prepared? Most people don't, but my friends over at Republic Monetary Exchange have been leading experts in precious metals to help you offset the coming economic collapse. Right now, for a limited time, they have a free book called The 10 Reasons You Should Own Gold. You simply need to give them a call at 888-772-2929 to get that in your hands. Do not allow the insiders to do what they did to you in 2008, putting your IRAs, 401ks, and savings in jeopardy. You need this book, and you need it now. The 10 Reasons You Should Own Gold. Call 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929. There's a reason that the largest investment banking company in the world, J.P. Morgan, just purchased another 50 million ounces of silver. This free book will explain it. 888-772-2929.
I say
this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
We are back. Sometimes you hear me giggle when we first come on. And it's not because I've lost my mind, because, whatever. But the electronics that you don't see, I'm pounding on buttons over here. Nothing's happening. All of a sudden it happens like 7 times in a row, because I pounded on it 7 times in a row, which is exactly when I was in computers. I used to tell people, don't hit the button 7 times, because it's not going to fix anything. So, anyway, whatever. I'm Joe Messina, your host. Listen to the Real Side on GCN Live. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Back to David Fisher, because he's a heck of a lot smarter than I am. All right, we got David Fisher back. We've all had a chance to get some oxygen and get some air. And, David, we were talking about pension plans and how the government's going to – I love this, though. Borrow from the government. They're going to borrow from the pensions to pay the pensions. Ultimately, let me ask you a question. If you have a pension with the government, am I going to see my money?
I think so, because the government has to default on their own obligations, and I don't think it'll be a long day before that happens. I don't think that will happen. I maybe it's my wishful thinking. There's people that are in my industry and economists are saying eventually it will default. If we don't get this thing under control, yes, that's the answer. We will default, but I don't see that happening. I think they're going to inflate our way, do a bail-in, other things before all that. But it is a Ponzi scheme, because I didn't share this part with you last segment, but we'll talk about it now. There's an entity, a program that was created in 1975 called the Pensions Benefit Guaranty Corporation, which is the purpose of that is to finance the needs of pensions when they can't finance their pensions for their employees. So this government agency comes and fills in the gap. Well, let's put this into perspective now. In 2005, the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation was underwater by $23 million in debt. Now, from a government agency, that's pretty darn good, comparing what all our agencies in our government are much more than that in debt. This year, $76 billion is underfunded in debt. That's why they're creating, and that program is to fund pensions. It's in debt. That's why they're creating this new program called the Pension Rehabilitation Administration Program to bail out the previous government program. And we're going to have to create that the government's going to have to fund that to fund the bailout of the pensions. It's a Ponzi scheme. So it's the most insane thing I could even imagine our country would even think about. But, it's socialism, and
just the fact that it's called a rehabilitation pension program. I mean, on life support, right? I mean, that's what it sounds like, doesn't it? You've had a massive failure, and now you have to be rehabilitated.
The Central State Pension Fund, one of the largest. This funds Disneyland and truckers, and this is that. They have over 200,000 retirees, backed by 60,000 employees. So the plan can't support itself. It's impossible. 60,000 employees can't support 200,000 retirees. So it's set up to default, and this is why they're creating these types of bills. So we're moving towards socialism, which moves us on to Venezuela, which is what Bernie Sanders just loves. And
we want to be like Venezuela, right? I mean, that's what Bernie kept telling us.
Let's see what Venezuela looks like right now. Okay, so they just defaulted.
One way to lose weight is to move to Venezuela because there's no food there. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's a short-term diet, also known as death. Venezuela just defaulted on their bonds. They've missed 5 payments, and they've gone past the grace period, which now is totaling. They defaulted on $196 billion is their bonds. Yet the payment was $349 million. They got the money in the bank. Their money's been shrinking. They got $9.6 billion in the bank right now. They had $30 billion in 2011. So it's shrinking. They're running out of cash, but they have the money. They're blaming other entities like President Trump, because they've been blaming the U.S. for their problems for a long time, long before Trump. But yesterday, before this default, Venezuelan bond yields rose to 132%, Joe. let's put this into perspective. $1 before all this, at the beginning of the year, bought 3,200 bolivars. That's the Venezuelan currency. Now, $1 buys 55,200 bolivars. The rate of inflation, it's going to hit, according to the International Monetary Fund, it's going to hit 650% inflation. We're at less than 3%, okay, Joe?
Oh my
in
God.
2018, the IMF is predicting 2,300% in 2018. So they're headed for a financial collapse like never before. They're having food shortages have gotten worse. The illegal black market has emerged. You know, it's just it's totally insane. The government's, you don't know what's going to happen next. So this environment, they sold their gold a couple of years ago to raise short-term cash. That was not a good deal to do either. But, you know, we're going to see more problems come out from Venezuela, and we'll see what happens. But that's what happens when you start trying to fix everybody's problem and have socialism. It does not work. And, you know, these bills that we're getting ready to vote on, if passed, it's socialism. We have to stop spending. That's what the bottom line is, you know. So, but, you know, there's also kinds of other problems that are emerging around the world. You know, let's move on to what's happening just in Europe. The ECB just proposed removing deposit insurance on a bank.
What is the ECB, for those who don't have a clue?
European Central Bank. So it's the equivalency of the Federal Reserve in Europe.
So it's another bankrupt bank with just the with initials on it.
It's the second largest central bank in the world.
Wow.
That covers the European monetary system, which is the euro. So this is their central bank. The ECB is proposing removing deposit insurance. This is like the Fed coming out and said, okay, we're talking to the FDIC and they're in agreement with us because we work together. We're going to take away the FDIC insurance on all bank accounts. The $250,000 per, you know. Can you imagine that? How well that goes well in the United States? They're talking about this. They published a paper under the European Central Bank's banking supervision and disclosed it on their website and said the following: covered deposits and claims under investors' compensation schemes should be replaced by limited discretionary exemptions to be granted by competent authority in order to retain a degree of flexibility. Okay, let's talk in layman's terms now. What this means in legal terms is that the ECB wants to do away with depositors' insurance entirely. Instead, they are proposing that if the European Union bank fails, the amount of money that you could access in your account is limited at their sole discretion of an authority that they have. So let's say if you have $10,000 or euros in a bank, and that bank fails, according to this proposal, the monetary authority could decide that you don't get anything back at all.
Wow.
This is crazy, but this should tell us something. We're headed towards a financial calamity because the European Monetary Union, the European Central Bank cannot create enough money to bail out their citizens, their depositors, and pensions when this next deal comes around. So there's a lot of news that happened this week. It's all saying the same thing. 2018, we're headed for some massive uncertainty, which goes in hand with what I've been saying for the last 3 months. With big investors, billionaires are saying something big is going to happen in 2018. Now we have a whole bunch of information this week. The United States, Venezuela, Europe, it's all saying the pensions are all saying the same thing. Something big's getting ready to happen.
Yeah, it is scary to me, and again, I've learned a lot from you over the years that you've been on with me, and I look out there, and you see exactly some of the things that you and others have said. Hey, these are warning signs that this is when you see things going in the wrong direction. This is what's going to happen if, and I'm starting to see all those ifs. But my argument with you has always been the same. Well, we don't have enough time to go through it. I'll hit that with you the next time around. How do people get a hold of the black gold for yellow gold?
Yeah, that's a new update. The one's getting launched. They can call our company. Petro One is being launched here in 6 weeks. Then call our company 844-715-7311 or go to our website at landmarkgold.com.
Always a pleasure, David. And truly, you make it easy for people to understand. And that's always that's always in the past what has turned people off to finances or listening to financial guys, because they use terms. I can't even spell half the stuff they say. So I really do appreciate the time that you're spending with me. You know, and it's true. Most of the time, people do not understand. They don't understand some of the terminology. They don't understand what it is that they're maybe guys like David are trying to get you to do. And it's not that they're trying to get you to buy or not buy. I mean, some of them are what Tammy likes. What is that word you like to call them? Shysters or yeah, that kind of thing, right? They're not all that. I mean, I trust David. That doesn't mean you have to, and it doesn't actually, frankly, it probably doesn't mean you actually just should by default. Check him out. Check out the references before you do anything with him or anybody else you hear on this show. Seriously. You know, I bring people on that I believe I could trust. He's been around for a while. I've had no major complaints about him. And frankly, without giving away family secrets, we've used him too. So give him a call. Check it out. Make sure that your finances are safe. Make sure that you've taken all the options available to you to keep your finances safe. Hey, I'm Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. Next hour, it's just going to be a smorgasbord of stuff. We're going to talk about everything from, sexual assault to bullying by elected officials and by parties. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Ron DeRockstra. Minnesota Senator Al Franken faces a storm of criticism and a likely ethics investigation after a Los Angeles radio anchor accused him Thursday of forcibly kissing her and groping her during a 2006 USO tour. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders was asked if President Trump has a reaction.
It appears that the Senate is looking into that, which they
Have it all with Estee Lauder's biggest gift. 26 beauty essentials for the price of one full-size advanced night repair. $65 with any $35 Estee Lauder purchase right now at Dillard's. Worth over $455 includes 12 full-size products. Advanced night repair for face and eyes, Pure Color Envy lipsticks, and more. Plus, choose from 2 makeup looks. Discover gifts with style at Estee Lauder. We offer free gift wrapping and customized gift boxes. So come find all your holiday presents at the Estee Lauder counter now at Dillard's.